Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, September 12th, 2024. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. This week, Matt Giovanisci of Brew Cabin and Josh Secaur of Gambit Brewing in St. Paul, Minnesota, join me to taste the Honey IPA that we designed together and I brewed. Matt also accepts the Mash Your Luck Challenge from Adam Ross of Twin Span Brewing. If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing, and many thanks to everybody who was helping out in that way. If you go to patreon.com/basicbrewing, you can see a long list of stuff that you can access if you sign up as a supporter. And many thanks to the new Patreon subscribers who are signing up every week. Your help is very much appreciated. If you're a user of the Patreon iPhone app, starting in November, they say, please use the Patreon website to sign up for new subscriptions. Apple is going to start taking a significant chunk of new subscriptions that are started on the iPhone app starting in November. Hope that makes sense. Financial subscribers have already seen the episode that I'm planning to post to the general public on Friday. It's the one where Steve and I taste the beer that Matt, Josh, and I will taste on this program today. It's a delicious one brewed with local honey and POG from Imperial Yeast. And financial supporters also received, along with the early release of that video, a behind-the-scenes video of how the beer came together, and the recipe for the beer as well. POG was the summer seasonal from our friends and sponsors at Imperial Yeast. For fall, Imperial is featuring A40 Bubbles, which is a traditional cider strain. I've also used it to brew hard seltzer in the past. Bubbles is a beautiful strain for fruit juice-based fermentations. The clean profile of Imperial Bubbles, especially at the lower end of the temperature range, allows the nuances of the fruit to shine through. Great for, say, ciders made with local apples. There's a local apple orchard or two left here in northwest Arkansas. The place used to be covered with them back in the day. Bubbles is produced on 100% gluten-free media, and those 200 billion cells in each easy-to-open package will get the job done for you. My stir plate is dusty because I don't use it anymore to make starters for moderate gravity 5-gallon batches, and my airlocks are usually bubbling before bedtime. Ask your local homebrew store about A40 Bubbles from Imperial Yeast, and check out all the dependable deliciousness at imperialyeast.com. That's imperialyeast.com. Okay, this is a fun one. Not only do we taste a delicious Honey IPA, we tweak the recipe for a second try. And Matt gets a pretty challenging result, spoiler, in the Mash Your Luck Challenge. Matt Giovanisci of Brew Cabin, welcome back to Basic Brewing Radio.
Thanks for having me.
Josh Secaur of Gambit Brewing Company in St. Paul, Minnesota, welcome back.
Always a pleasure.
Now, first off, before I forget, last time we were together, Josh, you said, I've got an extra bottle of this double IPA. If there's any listeners in the St. Paul area that want to come by and drink this beer, try this beer, I'll share it with you. And so somebody did.
Yeah. A listener reached out through our Gambit email address and said, hey, if the beer's around, I'm going to be in the brewery. I think it was on a Tuesday night, maybe. And it just happened to work out that I was there late and they came in late, and it was super cool. So we shared the beer. We talked about the show. We talked about, how we've, I think we were both listeners from way, way back. So talked homebrewing quite a bit. It was super fun.
And I get an email. You sent me a photo.
Yeah.
But then I got an email from Tim. I'm going to use his last name. I usually don't, but, he's a super fan. He's been Tim. I'm going to say Ewald, Tim Ewald from St. Paul, Minnesota. And Tim wrote me a note. He said, I've been a loyal listener for 18 years. I know this because 18 years. I know this because I recall listening to your podcast when rocking my infant son to sleep. And flash forward, we just dropped off that same son at college last weekend.
Wow.
as a St. Paul resident, I've enjoyed hearing Josh from Gambit Brewing guest on a few of your shows this year. I visited Gambit Brewing with a friend this week for the first time and got a chance to meet and talk beer with Josh in his wonderful tap room. What a great guy and skilled brewer. As we were breaking down the double IPA episode and brewing techniques, Josh said that he had a surprise for us and then proceeded to bring a bottle of your homebrewed double IPA out from the back. Getting to sample the homebrew of one of my brewing heroes was amazing. The beer itself was also very good, quite balanced and drinkable for a double IPA, yet still flavor forward. So thanks for all you do, James, Tim says, and for unknowingly sharing your beer with me. So how cool is that?
It was really fun. I got a big kick out of it. So yeah, it was fun.
And you've also got, in real life, yes.
Yeah.
And you've also got an extra bottle of the Honey IPA that we're about to sample. So
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe Tim or somebody else, who wants to stop by. Could be a bunch of them if they hear you're actually doing it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm there almost every day. So, if we can coordinate something, for sure, that'd be fun.
So what we've got here, you guys have each bottles of my Honey IPA that I did with Pog out on the hot porch. And this is a variant sort of the double IPA that we did. And, you guys sampled and you shared there, Josh. Mm-hmm. This is different. The double IPA had Mosaic, Amarillo, and El Dorado with a Warrior bittering charge at the very beginning. This one has just Centennial, but the same amount of hops at a hop stand and dry hopping, and it cuts back on the grain, but we add 3 pounds of honey. So it's not at all like the double IPA.
What's that grain in it still?
Yeah. And it was brewed on the porch with Pog. So, yeah, I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, those two, this will be like the third iteration of that beer that, I want to talk about doing today, but it's really not. It's a completely different beer. So this beer that we're going to try is 10 pounds or 4.5 kilograms of Pilsner malt, and I mashed at 154 degrees Fahrenheit or 68 C for 90 minutes. I did a 60-minute boil. I didn't add any hops in the boil. I chilled down to 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 82 C, and then I added, for a 20-minute hop stand, 6 ounces or 170 grams of Centennial at 10.4% alpha acid. During that 20 minutes, the temperature went from 180 or 82 C to 166 or 74 C, just for, those who like the details. At the end of that 20-minute hop stand, I added 3 pounds or 1.4 kilograms of local honey to the wort. And again, that was at 166 degrees Fahrenheit because I wanted to try to preserve, some of the honey character in the beer. And that's local honey from our friend Caleb, who is at Caleb's Bees on Instagram, by the way. So I fermented with A37 Pog, which the pouch was poofed. It was poofed up, and I looked at the date, and it was like a little over 4 months old. I said, uh-oh. But I pitched it anyway with no starter. There was no airlock activity that evening, but the next morning it was bubbling like it was going along like a steam train. So it finished in just a couple of days. I dry hopped with another 6 ounces of Centennial for 3 days. And then I did something that I normally don't do. I racked to a secondary, and then let that sit and clear out for how long? 3 days, and then I racked again to a bottle. But I purged with CO2 in the carboy when I racked into it, trying to preserve, avoid oxidation. Then I racked into a bottling bucket, and I batch primed and bottled. So what we got is starting gravity 1066. Shout out to the Battle of Hastings. Final gravity 1008 for an ABV of 7.6%. So, there you go. Need a beer after all that talking. So Matt, I'll go to you first. What do you think?
Yeah, I just sipped it. I've been smelling it this whole time. Am I picking up the honey?
I think so.
When did you add the honey?
At the end of the hop stand.
Okay.
While the wort was still hot.
Yeah, I pick up like a floralness that doesn't necessarily remind me of Centennial, but is more flowery. And I could just be the suggestion of Honey IPA could be doing that. But let me know if I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy at all. It reminds me of Hop Slam, that beer from, is it Bell's? I think it's Bell's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That same, and I think that's a Centennial beer too. So we probably talked about this already. But it's got that same kind of honey character that's really unique in that beer, and I think you kind of caught it here.
Well, I get the honey just at the end of the sip, like, the middle of my tongue. It's like a honey residue, and again, maybe that's just my brain telling me. But I have brewed honey beers before, and I've put the honey in the boil for some crazy reason.
Yeah.
But somebody called me out on it on YouTube. He's like, "Why are you putting the honey in the boil?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm just used to putting sugar in the boil, and so you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. That's dumb to put to boil honey." So I was trying to preserve more of the honey character. I think that I've succeeded. I think that you are tasting honey.
All right. Nailed it. I'm a Cicero now.
or what's the thing for meads? You could be one of those too. So there is no bittering charge. With the double IPA, we did do an ounce of Warrior at the beginning of that 60-minute boil.
Mm-hmm.
Are we missing the bittering charge?
I'm not. I like this. For me, this is about the right level of bitter.
I was going to say the opposite. I'm missing it a little bit.
Are you?
Only because you mentioned it. Again, I'm just suggestions. I'm peer pressure. I can bend to whatever you want me to do. But yeah, I think I kind of want a little bit of just a little bit of bite to let me know that I'm drinking an IPA.
Yeah, I mean it's not like a juicy beer.
No.
I mean there's a substantial amount of bitterness, but it's not nearly what was in the double IPA for sure. That we talked about the double IPA and it being kind of the old school double IPAs where it's just like hit you in the face with bitterness, but there's enough malt to balance it.
Mm-hmm.
Since this finished at 10:08. I think we were worried that we didn't want – one of the reasons why we didn't do the bittering charge was we were worried that we didn't want to over-bitter the beer.
Yeah. I also get a little twang, like I want to say like a sourness, but it's not sour. But there's something on the swallow. Like the lingeringness of it. It has like a salivating effect. Do we have any idea what that could be? Is that a
Is it like a? Let me put another idea in your head.
Is it from Pog?
I'm wondering. Is it like a citrusy lemony thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Totally.
Yes.
And I bet that is from Pog.
I think that is the Pog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were getting lemony notes from the double IPA as well. They weren't as I get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is a lemony thing. I like it. I think it goes well.
Yeah, I like it too. It's twang is a tough one because sometimes that can be like the apple cidery twang. I meant definitely more lemon forward.
Well, and to me, the way kind of going back to the bitterness, but I like that this is a honey beer.
Yeah.
And even though this finished at 10:08, it's got a little bit of sweetness, but it's not cloying, which I think that kind of bumps up the perception of that honey flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really like because
like it plays with the malt a little bit.
Totally, yeah. And I mean, if if you told me, hey, this is a honey IPA, well, yeah, because it tastes like there's
Yes.
honey in it,
Yeah.
which is perfect. And I think if it got too bitter, you'd probably lose some of that middle sweetness, kind of.
Uh-huh. And I think adding the more floral hop with a fruity yeast is a good combination to go with honey.
Yeah, totally.
And I think I'm glad that I racked it. I'm glad that I racked to a secondary because this is I was kind of embarrassed. I like the way the double IPA turned out taste wise, but presentation it sucked because there was like an inch of not an inch, but a substantial amount of sludge in the bottom of the bottle, which it was because I was in a hurry and I just bottled straight from the primary almost. After 6 days, and so it wasn't ready yet. It was a rookie mistake.
Yeah, mine's clear, and it looks like the color of honey, which is also adding to that perceived honey value.
Yeah. So here's the story. It's the story of a. You guys are too young for that.
Oh yeah, sure. I've never seen that show before.
No,
I didn't grow up with Nick at Night.
Oh, okay, that's right. We had it on afternoons during the day.
If this ever goes to video, people are going to see how gray my beard is, and then I can't hide my youthfulness anymore.
Yeah.
So I originally ordered the ingredients from Dave, not formerly of High Gravity, now of Small Batch Boutique in Tulsa, and I ordered it 2-day priority. And I've told the story on the show before, but it went to the Fayetteville, Arkansas distribution center. Then it went to Mountain Home, Arkansas. Then it went back to Fayetteville. Then it went to like Daytona, Florida, and then it came back to Memphis, and then it went to Little Rock, and then it went back to Fayetteville, and then over here to Prairie Grove. So.
It sounds like a delightful road trip to go on, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's efficient. That's efficient logistics right there.
So 13 days, I think it was, that it took. So during that time, and I even called a representative for the post office in Oklahoma City, and I said, "Can you tell me where my package is? Because we haven't heard from it for a few days." And she said, "Oh, it'll show up in a couple, 3 days probably." And so I talked to Dave, and he sent me another batch of ingredients, which is what this is that you're drinking. And he sent it UPS, and it got here in 2 days. How about that? So meanwhile, the original batch did show up, leaking grain out of the bottom because somehow the post office managed to damage the paper bag inside the box. It's like a magic trick. They punched a hole in the paper bag that was inside the cardboard box, and it was leaking grain out onto the counter when I picked it up at the post office. So I've got almost 10 pounds of grain again, and I've got these 12 ounces of Centennial. And I thought, now, usually we keep the hops in these little packs in the fridge. Mm-hmm. Are these hops going to be ruined? So I emailed Yakima Chief. Is it Yakima or Yakima? Yakima. I emailed Yakima Chief and Wade Brummett, who's with Yakima Chief. He in Yakima said, I asked, are my hops going to be ruined from the heat because it, went down to Florida. He said there are traditionally 3 components that are always thought of as the main culprits for poor hop quality. Those are heat, oxygen, and sunlight. Chances are that your Centennial hops are going to be just fine, but if you notice any large cheesy/oxidized off notes upon opening, then I would likely look for a refund or a credit from the shop. Well, we're not going to do that because it wasn't their fault. But so I haven't opened. I forgot. I should have opened before the show, but I haven't opened them to see if they are cheesy. But they're probably okay. Do you think?
I think you're going to be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many Levibon do we add to the grain being in the truck for 13 days?
And the dirt coming in into.
Did we get another bump, another percent bump?
And I didn't look for mouse poop, but that's.
Yeah.
So, bottom line is, I've got the ingredients to do this beer again. So, tasting the beer as it is now, and I got more honey from Caleb. I traded beer for honey, unless that's illegal. In that case, I didn't. So I got the ingredients to do this beer again, except I don't have the POG is no longer the seasonal. So I have USO5 packs that I've had in the fridge for a while. So what if anything would you guys tweak on this beer?
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see it. Well, one, it'll be interesting to see it just with USO5 versus POG to see if those Kvike kind of citrus notes are real or if we're imagining them. Because 05 should be fairly clean. So it'd be interesting to see if some of that citrus that's coming on the back of the sip is gone with an 05 beer. And then I think maybe if we bump the IBUs just a touch and see what that does, kind of drinkability wise.
I would throw more hops in at both.
That's also true. I would always throw more hops in.
Yeah. I mean, I would do a little bit of a IBU bump in the beginning just to get that little bitterness backbone. And then I don't know, I would go a little nuts and do more Centennial.
So should I order more?
Yeah. I think so.
I think we should spend your money for sure. Yeah. Agreed. I think you could double the dry hop if not.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everybody, patreon.com/babybrewing for. Wow, really? Seriously?
Yeah. The honey I wouldn't change.
Bigger dry hop's always better, James. Let's be real.
I mean, if you're gonna mess with it, you might as well go big, right? Like let's see how far we can take this guy.
There's gonna be like half of the beer is gonna be soaked up in the hop bag. Okay. All right. So should
the honey I wouldn't change though. I think the honey amounts is good.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I like the honey. The character comes through, but it's not too dry. It doesn't get like hot, like, a mead, or even a lot of honey in the beer can sometimes get a little bit hot. I think the level of honey is perfect.
Remind me with a malt bill, is it just 2-row?
It's just 10 pounds of Pilsner.
Oh, Pilsner. Okay.
So should I just shift like half an ounce of the Centennial to the beginning of the boil? Maybe it's 10.4% alpha acid.
Yes.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
So
that even. I mean, you could.
I would say maybe even a quarter
ounce would probably do it. You don't need. I don't think you want to go up a ton.
And are we happy with the 180-degree hop stand for 20 minutes?
Yes.
I think so for sure. Yeah, this is good.
Okay, so half an ounce of the Centennial at 60, 5.5 ounces at 20 minutes, for a 20-minute hop stand at 180 or 82C, and then 12 ounces dry hop.
Now you're talking. Now we're getting somewhere.
12 ounces in the dry hop?
See?
I mean, I know that's not going to work. The most I've done is 10. Can you get cryo Centennial?
Should be able to, sure.
Because if you can get that, then you don't have to add as many ounces, but you can do 6 ounces of cryo, but it would act like 12 ounces of, and then you won't lose as much beer.
Oh, okay.
True.
And I think I think it's just going to be easier for you to transfer. Because otherwise, if you do, because you're doing it in a carboy, right? So if you do,
I use a bucket. I use a plastic bucket when I dry hop. So with the bag.
Oh, you use a bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter.
I'm like the castaways. I'm as primitive as can be.
Right. I'm always concerned about things clogging. So.
Well, me too. You get to my age.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just do brat diet. That's all.
So what are my alternatives? So say again, I've had half a beer. So should I keep this 6 ounces of the Centennial that I have, or substitute, if I can find them, 6 ounces of the Cryo?
If you can't find Cryo, do 12 ounces of Centennial. So buy more Centennial. And why not use what you got? Even if it's cheesy, I'd be curious what that would taste like. Because I know, like, if you purposefully degrade Cascade, you get like a different kind of flavor and could be interesting. And Centennial is just super Cascade, right? So that might be interesting to try.
A honey lambic. We're just
yeah. I mean, oh my God, it sounds great. Let's sour it. Let's go nuts. Yeah, but I think if you can get Cryo, it doesn't matter. If you're doing it in the bucket with a bag, you're fine. You're just going to lose a lot of beer. That's all.
Well, I tend to squeeze the hop bag at the end of the dry hop.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
At this age, you have to.
At this age.
I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I think, I think I think I would just go with this is Monster Dry Hop. It's a double IPA, you know.
Okay, all right. It is now.
It's fun. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'll just ferment inside instead of the hop porch with the USO5. Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It means I got to order more hops. Maybe I'll smell the ones I got first to make sure.
I say use them.
I think they're going to be fine. I think to make those hops cheesy, they got to be beaten up pretty bad. I mean, there's a reason like the lambic breweries keep their hops in the attic of their barns for 5 years. I think 2 weeks in a UPS truck, you're going to be fine.
And it's purged with nitrogen. You know,
that's what I was going to say.
Okay,
yeah, they're not going to be oxidized for sure.
No,
I
think you're going to be fine.
There's no oxygen in there, so
right.
Okay, they're pre-isomerized.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And I'll try to set aside a bottle or two of the current one, so that if you guys drink the ones or share the ones that you got, I'll send you some more.
All right.
Next time.
Sure.
So. And I sent you. We're not going to taste it on the show, but I sent you my malt liquor, quote unquote, that came as a result of a Mash Your Luck segment, and you can drink that at your leisure. It's not the way we intended, but I think it's okay. I think it's an okay beer.
I love your ringing endorsements of your beers.
Yeah. Well, I set those expectations low. It's like 7.6% ABV. So, as is this.
I'll have to set up a college night.
Yeah.
So,
take one in my hand.
You do you.
That's what I do.
So, to kind of lead us into the next thing, Matt, Adam Ross, he's been stalking. He stalked me and Susan in Milwaukee, and now he stalked you at your house.
I mean, I drug him there, but yeah, stalk is another way to put that.
I think he's collecting DNA for some reason.
Yeah. I met him up at Prost here in Colorado, and then we shuffled back to my house and had all the beers I had on tap, and then went to a Guster show at Red Rocks. Saw him there too.
Wow.
Well, I'm
They're
very
better
envious.
stalkers than I do.
Yeah, we're real good at it.
I'm very envious. He
expensive. It's expensive. A concert's not cheap.
Oh, you didn't pay for his ticket, did you?
No, I did by a stalk him. It's like you got to pay for the ticket to get there.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, he was very excited to see your brewery, and he was blown away, as he should be. It's a wonderful place from the videos and the photos that I've seen, and I've had your beers as well, and I know that you're a very talented brewer. So yeah, it sounded like a wonderful day.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Well, excellent. Yeah, you're next, Josh. Be careful. Adam is going to be coming your way.
141 4th Street East, St. Paul, Minnesota. Come find me.
I'm gonna try to get there next week.
Oh, sweet, awesome.
Oh, that's right.
I was gonna text you about that. So that's
yeah, we shortened our trip, but we see how much time we really have. But
yeah,
we're gonna try.
Spend most of it with Josh.
That's right. Who needs a wedding? A 3-day wedding?
Oh, I guarantee Gambit's way more fun than a wedding.
Oh yeah,
and you could fake COVID. So
yeah.
I'm sure you've got a photograph of a positive COVID test in your phone somewhere. Just send them that.
No, I'll come in a suit.
Oh, I don't know if we've ever had anybody in a suit before.
Okay, so Adam came up with the idea. I came up with the name. We came up with the idea for the Mash Your Luck challenge. Instead of Pressure Luck, the Come On Big Money No Whammies game show.
Good night.
Yes, exactly. I came up with the clever name. Instead of Press Your Luck, it's Mash Your Luck, because it's a clever pun. Because you press is also to mash, and the mash is also to make beer.
Genius.
Pause for applause. So anyway,
where's that button on your device?
I don't have. Well, it's on another bank.
Okay,
I can
in post.
Yeah, I'll fix it in post. So the way this and Matt, Adam has challenged you to do this. He's like, has Matt done a Mash Your Luck? And I said, no. Well, yeah. So that's. I said Matt's on the other line of timeline on this show. But you have volunteered, and not volunteered, but you've agreed to do this.
Yes.
So for those who haven't heard it before, Mash Your Luck, we divide a beer characteristics into ABV, bitterness, color, type, and origin, and then I have a random number generator that I use to select levels in each of those categories. So, for instance, ABV, we have very low, low, medium, high, and very high. Mm. So are you comfortable with all of those?
Yeah. What's very high?
Well,
is 10% very high, or is it like 15%?
Well, ABV and bitterness are kind of fluid.
Okay.
In that if you get a sour beer.
Yeah, right.
Very high ABV sour might be different from a very high ABV ale.
Or a high ABV sour. Too.
Or in bitterness,
yeah,
a high bitterness sour might be only
12.
Well, yeah,
right,
yeah.
So it's all. There's some interpretation.
Or dry hopped, yeah.
There's some interpretation that
okay,
that is up to you.
Yeah, let's go nuts.
Okay, all right. So I've got the little wheels here set for 1 to 5. For ABV, and you might not be able to hear the sound effect, but I'm going to put a sound effect in here while I'm spinning. So here we go. Okay. So the first characteristic, ABV, is low.
Yes.
Yes. And at the end, you have the option to exercise a joker.
Yeah, it's not going to be on that.
So if you... Oh, okay. Oh,
I've already made my decision, James.
Let me write this down. Matt, ABV, low. Okay. All right.
Come on. So I'm sorry, I'm getting excited here. Go ahead. I'm participating in the game show we're playing.
Big bucks, no whammy.
That's right.
So bitterness, we have low to mid, balanced, high, and very high. So here we go. Ooh, balanced.
Yeah. All right.
Balanced. So kind of a milk.
Easy so
kind
far.
of yeah.
All right. I may re-roll that one.
Bitterness. And notice it's not IBUs, it's bitterness, so it's a relative thing.
Sure. So I can still dry hop the crap out of it.
Sure.
Cool.
Okay. So now we have color. We have pale, gold, amber, brown, and black. So it's still 5 numbers.
Okay.
So are you ready? Here we go. What are you rooting for?
I don't have a root, but it's definitely not amber or brown.
Well, it's black.
Yes.
Who was it that shouted just then?
Me. I'm excited.
Okay. That was so uncharacteristic of your voice. I was like, was that Josh?
Look, I got a whole bag of tricks, bag of voices. I have yet to unveil in this show. I've had about 3 sips of a Honey IPA. It's on. It's a mid Thursday.
You'll do your Ed McMahon neck. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the next category, the next is type. And right now we have lager. We started out with lager and ale, but we added sour.
Oof.
Are you okay with all 3 of those?
I am. Yeah. And there's oh wait, is there Belgian in there?
No, that's Origin. Origin.
Belgium there's Origin.
Is
Okay.
next.
Okay, got it.
So, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Here we go. Ooh, sour.
I knew it. All right. That'll be interesting.
But you got a joker.
I know.
You could re-roll if you
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, when I do the Joker, it's a re-roll to
Of
all
that-
3 again, so I could get the same thing again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Origin, right now we have, we started off with U.S., Germany, and U.K. when Adam and I first did this. But we've since added Belgium and Australasia, which Australasia is Australia and New Zealand, essentially.
Okay.
So U.S., Germany, U.K., Belgium, and Australasia. So is
Oceania? Is that what that is?
We can call it that. Yeah, I checked with Greg McGill down in my friend down in Hamilton, New Zealand, and he said that people wouldn't be offended by Australasia, so that's what I came up with.
Well, there you go.
Okay, so is there anything you want to add to that?
Norwegian?
Oh,
I like Norwegian.
oh,
So it's sorry. Say them one more time. I heard Belgium.
U.S.,
Yep.
Germany,
Yep.
U.K., Belgium, and Australasia. So we could say Scandinavia.
Scandinavian, yeah. Or yeah. There's so much there.
That would widen it out a little bit.
Yeah, because then you could do like a Sati or like a what's that, Hortendal or
Yep.
yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a bunch of styles there. Okay,
All,
all right.
all those things I can't pronounce. So should we add that?
Yeah,
We'll just add Scandinavia.
Yeah.
I have to write it down.
Trying to think what else there would possibly be.
Boy, you're getting
Like-
adventurous.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, otherwise you could do a rest of the world that would kind of capture Africa.
Ooh,
Or
and
South
South
America.
America.
You got the chicha
Right.
down
Oh,
in
there's a lot of- I mean, there's a lot of cool beers in South America too.
yeah, world. Like Yanni.
Yeah, the world music station.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got to change.
Oh
my-
no. Are we saying take away Scandinavia and just do world?
No.
No, I leave
Oh, you
Scandinavia.
think okay.
So U.S.,
Yeah.
Germany, U.K., Belgium, Australasia, Scandinavia, and world.
Wow.
So
All right. Dang.
other.
Yeah, other. Right. Okay.
Sorry, everybody else that we're not specifically talking about.
Make more beer.
we're at
Just
least
trying to
we're
be
not.
inclusive.
Yeah, we're trying to be good. Okay, so 1 through 8, right? No, 7. 1 through 7. Okay, here we go. Australasia.
Whoa.
So, some New Zealand hops, perhaps.
Okay.
So right now we have low ABV,
Yeah.
balanced bitterness, black,
Yeah.
sour
Uh-huh.
from Australasia.
All right. I already know what I'm re-rolling.
So you got a joker.
Yeah.
What are you gonna re-roll?
Whatever one sour is.
Yeah.
The type.
Yeah, type.
So let me set it back to 3. Here we go. So we have lager, ale, and
Watch
sour.
me get sour again.
Well, it's not happened before. I'm not.
It's going to happen with me. I'm not
this
good.
is the time for sure.
I just jinxed you. So here we go. Well, guess what? You got
Sour
a 3.
again.
You got a 3. You got a sour.
See, I knew it. I know how my luck is.
Sorry, you got mashed. Your luck got mashed.
So black sour.
Black sour, low ABV, balanced bitterness with Australasian influences.
Okay.
I have a couple ideas already.
So we don't have to formulate the whole specific recipe now.
I know.
But we can talk about what directions would be interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't, and the sour, and you can add adjuncts. You can
sure.
You can add stuff like Steve did, black honey or burnt honey.
Yep.
There's
definitely going to be a fruit.
Now sour can also be tart.
Right.
So you could add
be like a black raspberry or like a black forest cake.
Or is there a fruit from Australasia that is tart?
Black kiwis? Like a black kiwi beer?
That sounds interesting.
That does sound interesting.
So there
can't be bad.
So tart or sour, those components.
So here's one thing I got.
Okay.
I got in my disposal right now in my basement. I got a big old 5-gallon batch of a sour beer that I messed up and talked about on the show, but added a ton of tart cherry juice to in order to hope it fixed. Now I haven't tasted it, but I could blend, right? Because blending count. Okay,
yeah,
so
sure.
I could make just a black beer, regular old beer, fully fermented, and then blend with like a dark cherry, sour concoction and see what I get.
I think that works.
Right? Is that cheating?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you brewed all of it.
Right. But it's technically not. Well, so when you say type, you said ale, lager, and sour, right?
Right.
So I guess, sour doesn't really matter, right? Because it's probably an ale. Well, I guess it could be anything. All right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to cheat. I just don't want to cheat.
Sour kind of supersedes the other two.
The idea.
Maybe it should be sour/tart.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, I think so. Obviously, like raspberry would be good. Kiwi, I don't even know where the heck I would get that much kiwi.
That's a lot. That'd be a lot of kiwi. I bet.
That'd be a lot of kiwi. I wonder if you can get it.
I bet there's an extract.
I don't want to do that.
You can get puree though, for sure.
Kiwi puree?
I think so.
That'd be crazy. What other fruits are down under?
I'm not gonna Google. I'm resisting Googling.
Yeah,
but I'm embarrassed that I don't know. It's too bad. Is durian from down there?
You know what? I so want to make a durian beer. That would be so cool.
Because I think that's the thing, the giant ugly thing that stinks.
Yeah.
But when you taste it, it tastes really good, and I think it might be tart. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easiest thing about, I guess for me, making it down under tasting is the hops, right? I mean, that's What else do I have to? I mean, I can do some research, but I don't know what else I can do. Shrimp, maybe like barbecue shrimp. I mean, that's a thing. I've heard.
I'd piss everybody off down there if I said a bloomin' onion. But
oh yeah, I could just go to Outback Steakhouse, see what they got on the menu.
You can't just pour an oil can of Foster's in it.
I'll just goose it with some Fosters and then call it a day.
Because we know that's Australian for beer.
That's right.
So,
I'm sorry for everyone down under that just unsubscribed to your podcast, James.
yeah. Peter Simons is booking plane tickets to come to our houses. So,
all right. This is wow. All right, this is gonna be interesting.
I think this is one of the more challenging ones so far
That you've seen. So, how many times have you done the Mash Your Luck stuff?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Okay.
A few times.
Okay.
I mean the brew crew, the Brewlosophy Brew Club has done it, and they sent us some beers, and they did very well. Sean Terrell recently, he's brewing a beer at 2MYL Brewing Company in Leadville, Colorado, with medium ABV, very high bitterness, pale Belgian ale, and he, it's already bubbling in the fermenter.
Wait, can I go try that? How close is that to me?
Leadville's just up the hill from you, I think.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Shows how much I know about where I live.
Yeah. it's the highest altitude-wise brewery in the country.
Oh.
And Sean is super cool. You guys would get along famously. You need to do that.
I do need to do that.
And the most recent, Adam did one to begin with, and the most recent one he did or is working on is low ABV, balanced, pale, sour, U.S. And he was thrilled with those characteristics because he said there's a local, obscure, historical beer that he's been wanting to brew that fits those characteristics. So,
perfect.
That was right in his wheelhouse. Who knew?
Yeah.
So remind me one more time. I got low ABV.
Yeah. Low ABV. Yeah, write this down.
Yep. Low bitterness.
Low ABV, balanced bitterness.
Balanced.
Black. Sour. Australasia. I have confidence. You're going to knock this out of the park.
Well, we'll see.
Come on.
I'm super curious to see. I have ideas of where I might go, but I'm super curious to see where you're going to end up.
Is it? I think it's more fun, right? For it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, where would you go? I mean, if you were handed these characteristics, what are you thinking?
Right away, my head went to like a black saison that would be a little bit tart, that you could do a big dry hop of like a Galaxy and Nelson to really like push the grapey kind of wine character.
Yeah.
I think would work with it, not super tart, but a little bit tart, like a tart saison.
Maybe a little
do
funky.
the black, not super roasty, but more like a Schwarzbier,
where
the color is shocking, but the flavor doesn't really follow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's where my head went right away. I've had a couple black saisons over the years from some friends of mine that are homebrewers. Dan Deslets in Rhode Island made a killer black saison years ago. That would be. That's where my head went right away.
And you wouldn't have to be super aggressive on the hops. It wouldn't be have to be a fruit bomb. From the flavor of the hops.
It wouldn't.
It could be a delicate contribution.
Yeah. You mean in the sourness department?
Yeah, the IBU. I mean, to balance the saison is probably like 15 IBUs anyway.
Yeah.
So
but then you could dry hop a lot once everything was soured.
Yep, that's what I would do. Once it's to whatever tartness you want, I would go with a fairly heavy, probably mostly Nelson Southern dry hop, I think.
And this doesn't have to be a huge batch.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be. Well, 5 gallons.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't have to send it to you guys, I would, and you know what? I might just do this no matter what. Because I can't send you nitroed beers, right?
You can send us plane tickets.
Road trip.
Visit patreon.com.
Exactly.
and then Venmo me.
Yeah.
I can't package that would be so cool if I could do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
All right. I got some splaining to do. Like at night.
What you talking about?
Yeah. All right. This is gonna be this will be a challenge for sure. I might consult some locals, see what I can come up with.
Yeah, you're allowed.
Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to phone
sure.
a friend? Okay.
Yeah, you have lifelines. You can. Yeah, you can.
Do I have a deadline for this?
No, but
because it may take 6 months to sour. We have no idea.
Well, we'll have another Honey IPA to drink in the meantime.
Yeah.
So
I won't make it take 6 months. Okay.
You could follow Scott Housel's example. He's like super fast, and his beers are delicious. I don't know how he does it. He's just like, he's got a conveyor belt. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's got this Lichtenheiner that he sent us, and we just talked about it. It seems like last week we talked about it, and he's already brewed it. It's like a smoky tart. I don't know. I don't even know what it is, but it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Smoky.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right.
Well, this is fun. And
smoky should be another one.
Oh, ooh.
Instead of sour, right?
Are you asking to re-roll?
No.
I was thinking smoky could be a fun one, and fruited could be a fun one.
Yeah, and fruited could be a fun one, or like sour / fruited.
Right? Well, but those can be options that you can add after. This is like the base beer, and if you want to put smoke in it, you can, and if you want to put fruit in it, you can, or sugar, or spices, or
sure. Okay,
in addition, on top of it.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out my boundaries, and all right, got it.
You're going to wake up in the middle of the night and start writing on that notepad that I know.
Yeah, wake up in a cold sweat.
Uh-huh.
Kiwis, it must be kiwis.
Eureka! All right. Well, thanks, guys. This is fun.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear what you come up with.
Yeah, thanks for sending the beers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And good luck with that malt liquor.
Yeah.
That might happen right now. Who knows?
It's a Thursday.
Yeah.
And we're thirsty.
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
As always, many thanks to Matt and Josh. I'm very confident that Matt will come up with a delicious beer out of those challenging characteristics. And if you're in the St. Paul area, get in touch with Josh at Gambit to see if y'all can meet and sample the second Honey IPA that I sent him, if it's still around. That was a delicious one, and you can pour it with more confidence than the double IPA. If you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to James at basicbrewing.com or just fill out the contact form on basicbrewing.com. And please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Check out our mobile-friendly shop at basicbrewingshop.com. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check that out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. It's all until next time. Till then, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dodson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voicing. We'll talk to you next time. Everybody, in the meantime, stay well and stay tuned. So long.